Hello and Happy New Year. Welcome to this space if you've just stumbled across me. My name is Bettina Ray. I'm a yoga teacher and I specialise in yoga for fertility, pregnancy, birth and motherhood. So given it's the start of the year and I've got a whole bunch of people interested in joining my online yoga circle, so that's an online yoga space where you can access the classes wherever you are at home, and my physical studio here on the Sunshine Coast. And a lot of people are brand new to the practice, which is awesome. We love to see new people starting. But I thought I'd just kind of get into what do you actually need to start? Because I remember when I first started yoga, I was like, what do I wear? What do I need to take? What's going to happen? What do I need to expect? So first things first, what do you wear? Just be comfortable. So you don't have to go out and buy a pair of tights. Though if you have something like that, if you've been pregnant before, you probably own them anyway. You just need to be able to move in them and not be too hot. They're kind of the only prerequisites. As for a top, you don't want something too loose that when you go upside down is going to lift up. So you do want something reasonably tight fitting that will hold to your body when you're doing any of the poses that are inverted and upside down. So most studios will have mats that you can borrow when you first start, though you may want to check if you're going into a physical studio that they do have higher mats that you can borrow for your first few sessions. I think it's good to try out the studio mats because often they're the ones that you want to purchase as opposed to the cheap $10, $20 ones that you can get in Big W, which, can I tell you, while it seems like a good idea, you're going to slip all over the place and you probably won't enjoy your practice as much because you're not gripping. So if you can, borrow the studio mats for a couple of sessions, maybe even take a towel or something if you don't feel comfortable lying just flat on the mats that everyone can borrow. And then ask some questions of the other people in the class, of your teacher, of what mat to buy. That's going to be the best way to get a good recommendation for a good mat. Personally, my favorite mats are jade mats. I've had mine for about 4 years now, and it's perfect condition. I use it probably almost every other day, and I just give it a quick wash with the hose. That's all I do. They're great mats. They are expensive, but they last a very long time. So what to expect when you get to a yoga studio or in a yoga practice? So you're usually expected to take your shoes off at the door, so just be aware there's usually a little shoe rack to take your shoes off. We don't usually wear shoes inside a yoga studio. You'll then probably be guided to find a position in the studio somewhere, usually in the middle if you're brand new to yoga, just so that you can see people at the front, or if you happen to turn around a yoga class, which sometimes happens, you can follow the people at the back as well. So middle is a good place, even though I know you want to hide up the back. You might be directed to find a block or a strap. Not all practices will use props, but you might be guided to get those things. If you're practicing at home, you definitely don't need them. A block can be substituted for a book. You could use cushions instead of bolsters, and strap, you could use a belt or a scarf or something like that. So not essential purchases if you're just starting. So something to be aware of when you're starting yoga for the first time, it should never be painful. So if at any stage you're in pain, either ask your teacher or just back off and come to child's pose. Especially if you're practicing at home, backing off is really important. A core philosophy of yoga is always listening to the body and working within your limits. So whether you're pregnant, whether you've just had a baby, these are things that affect the physical body, and we need to listen to them and not push past them, because you can actually do more damage to the body and have more recovery if you're going to push and try and hustle yourself into fitness, as opposed to listening and being guided by what the body wants. I should probably also address here that common thing that comes up all the time is that I'm not flexible enough for yoga. No one is flexible when they start yoga. That's the whole point. So if you are feeling like I can't touch my toes, yoga is not for me, it's absolutely for you. And over time, little by little, you will get closer to those toes, I promise. And finally, before I finish, make sure you take some time to find a teacher and a style you enjoy. There are so many different types of yoga and so many different teachers of yoga. While one teacher will push your buttons, grate on your nerves, and they could actually be the teacher you need, others will inspire you and make you feel amazing. And there's a reason why you need to try out a few different styles before you say conclusively or not whether yoga is for you. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions about what you need to get started with yoga, basically not much, especially if you're going to a studio. If you're at home, you can start on carpet or a towel or something like that, just to get into it first before you decide to invest in a proper mat. And always just making sure you're comfortable in whatever you're wearing and that you're able to move freely. So that's it. If you have any other questions about what you need to get started in yoga, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I hope to see you guys soon, whether that's in the physical studio or if you can't make it to the studio, in my online yoga circle. I've just uploaded the January class, which is a yoga class for beginners. And if you are a regular in the studio, it's going to be a good one for you to kind of just hit reset. We can sometimes get stuck in our bad habits and kind of ruts and doing things the same way without that beginner's mind, without that awareness of what our body is doing. So a beginner's practice can bring you back to, oh, that's right, I need to be aware of what that arm and that leg is doing. Yoga is about creating that mindfulness of the whole body, but when we get quite good at it, it's actually harder to be mindful because we can slip into, I know what I'm doing, this is just automatic for me now. So lots of things happening in January. Keep an eye out. There is a special in the online yoga circle at the minute where you can get the whole year for $99 instead of $168, which is a huge saving. So if you would like to join us for the year, I would love for you to pop over and check that out. Otherwise, enjoy your yoga practice and namaste.